Yeah, the Knight's Tale. As history teaches us, it happened to be that Theseus, the governor of Athens in Greece, attacked and besieged with wisdom and honor the land of the Amazon women, and conquered, and he wedded their queen, Hippolyta, along with her young sister Emily, his plundered possessions. Theseus met them with a humble reception, and he let them come back with him under protection from hundreds of weapons to Athens and kept them. Upon his return to Greece, Theseus learned of these awful and shameful dishonored injustices brought to the name of the monarch, entrusted with keeping the city of Thebes in the dust with his power obsolete in a coward's defeat. He now was deceased and cast out in the streets where the hounds with their teeth would devour his meat. His widow, the queen, in her hour of need, showered pleas on Theseus from down on her knees. So he proudly agreed to put the town under siege and surrounded Thebes with all his men and pounded the city's walls. And when those towers were downfallen, then his troops to dust demolished them. And when the brawl was ended, he finally obtained and returned to the Theban queen for her pains the rest of her husband's majestic remains. Deep in the wreckage the people were left with, two knights were detected, well-dressed and connected by royal bloodlines, though it was expected they would be dead soon from the head wounds inflicted. But Theseus ordered that they be protected, and he sent them to Athens where they could be hidden. And by his decision, the two knights were given a prison to live in, though they were forbidden to step from within till their ghosts had uprisen. The names of these knights, in plain language, are Sita and Palamon. Utterly thankless that they were not hanged with the rest of the vanquished, they were caged in a tower for ages to languish and waste away hours and days with their anguish. Years pass, till at last, on a bright May morning, Emily rose, as dawn was just forming, to walk in the garden, with flowers adorning her head as a tribute to spring. And her singing, as soft as an angel's, rose up and just happened to waft in a window and cause a distraction. And that's when the passionate noise then uprose to where Palamon paced, giving voice to his woes. "Woe is me," he cried, "woe, woe." And then he sees her. Whoa! Palamon, struck to the quick by this vision, in his heart knew his lust to conflict his religion. I mean, she looked like a goddess, and he must be forgiven if he thought she was Venus and asked for deliverance, as he felt an upsurging of happiness in him. A hope was emerging that perhaps she would give him a premature evacuation from prison. Meanwhile, Arcita had noticed the cracks in his cousin's demeanor and focus, and asked him, "Why are you looking so hopeless? What's happened? What have you seen to provoke this reaction?" And Palamon sighed and said, "I'm choked with such passion for her that I see down below, yet I'm trapped in this prison, my station the lowest in Athens. Until I escape, I'll have no satisfaction." See, Palamon had gazed, and had paid the price, and Arcita now bravely laid his eyes, amazed upon the maiden guise of Emily, and to his great surprise, she made him sigh, and feel as sore inside as Palamon, and more. Arcita fell to the stone and swore, "This fresh beauty and peerless grace has rescued me. It clears away the sorrow of this dreary place. If only she'd appear each day, I'd cheerfully stay here just to see her face." Palamon's answer was close to delirious. "Be clear with this, brother. Are you joking or serious?" Choking on tears, his emotions were furious. Arcita just sneered at this, like I would never say anything as heavyweight as this merely in clever play. Palamon felt his pleasure fade. "Well, then you have betrayed me, and openly broken your oath to me. Plainly by both of us spoken so faithfully, traded to pose as a token of total devotion. We must put that above any quarrel we have over matters of love. All we have is our blood, and that is a trust rather tough to just patch up after it's cut." Arcita laughed, as if touched, with a covered smirk, and said, "In other words, since you loved her first, I'm supposed to pretend like it doesn't hurt, and I'm not even allowed to covet her, although it is I who suffers worse. Why should I thirst while my brother flirts? It's enough to reverse one's trusted word." Their hate and need were great indeed, and it made them seethe impatiently. But destiny soon gave them leave of one another's company when Arcita was released suddenly, cause one of his friends did something to please Theseus, who grudgingly agreed to let Arcita run free. But the pardon came with one decree, that once released from his country, if Arcita came within 100 feet of Athens, he'd soon be underneath the axe and be beheaded violently. So he returned to abide in Thebes. Now, try and see the irony. Palamon was left in the tyrant's keep with shackled hands and iron feet, and every day his eyes could peek at Emily in all her vibrancy, while Arcita was unconfined, yet he was not allowed inside the city of Athens, and if he tried to sneak or slyly creep by, it'd be like a deadly game of hide and seek. So Emily was outside his reach, but it's up to you to decide which of these two knights' bleak lives was the highest defeat.